Hello and welcome to Winchester News Online. My name is Owen Noon and I'm here with your news from all around the south. When we thought the train strikes were all over in November, after negotiations between RMT and National Rail, train strikes have hit once again, causing a real true problem for those travelling at this festive period. Jamie O'Sullivan has more.
Business as usual, but for how long? More train strikes are set to disrupt our festive season, with walkouts being planned from Christmas Eve until the 27th of December, due to the continuing debate over workers' pay and their conditions. These new strikes are the pre-existing ones already taking place, and the 13th until the 17th of December, and from the 3rd until the 7th of January. Roughly 40,000 railway workers from Network Rail and other train companies are expected to walk on these dates. Disruption is also expected on the days surrounding these strike dates. These first strikes come after the RMT not being satisfied with the recent offer from Network Rail and the Rail Delivery Group, who both bid to increase pay by 4 to 5% and enforce no compulsory redundancies until April 24 for the RDG and the 31st of January 2025 for Network Rail. This dispute, however, will have those trying to get home for Christmas in a sticky situation, especially for students here at the University of Winchester.
I think the train strikes are going to affect a lot of students going home for Christmas or going home just for a weekend. My mum has to come pick me up and drive 4 hours instead of me just getting a train, which just makes everyone's life a bit harder.
These strikes on the trains, as well as those happening with post office workers, airport and luggage distributors, nurses and teachers, makes this Christmas even more chaotic than usual. Jamie O'Sullivan, Winchester News Online.
The Royal Mail have also planned a few dates of strike in the lead up to Christmas. Charlie Swadling is here now to tell us the latest.
Thank you, Owen. Yes, so many unions are going on strike, including Royal Mail, and workers have begun a wave of Christmas strikes with thousands unhappy over pay and working conditions.
It's got to be said that morale is at an all-time low. After the COVID pandemic, Royal Mail made £740 million profit. Okay, they paid out 400 million in dividends to shareholders. The CEOs and board members were paid 2 million in bonuses, and they say there's no more money for the workforce.
Royal Mail CEO Simon Thompson has defended management whilst also calling out the strike action.
In terms of our posties, we've offered them a 9% pay increase. That's a cost of £400 million for us as a business. And that's £400 million when we're losing £1.2 million a day. We really do feel that that is fair.
Members of the union are expected to continue striking on the 14th, 15th, 23rd and 24th of December and may even continue into the new year. That's all from me. Back to you, Owen.
Cold weather has swept the nation this week, so Alfred Morris has wrapped up to go and check it out.
It's really cold. With temperatures hitting as low as -5 degrees here in Hampshire, the weather's certainly taking a turn for the worse. But amid the current cost of living crisis, people are worried about how they're going to heat their homes. And this is being worsened by the brutal weather we're facing at the moment.
You know, coming into cold weather, it is tricky. Obviously, all the gas prices have gone up, electricity's gone up, and we're starting to be quite concerned about the cost of heating. The fire logs have doubled in price, and it's a hard time of year. Obviously people are coming to the pub to get shelter from the cold, which makes this place a very important community place for people to come and be warm. So it is a very concerning time of year, especially in the current energy crisis, it puts a little bit of a dampener on such a joyous time.
So, as we're plunged further into this cold snap, many will be wishing for it to be over as soon as possible. But until then, I and many others will continue to layer up. Alfred Morris, Winchester News Online.
A care home will soon close in Winchester and a new one will be opening, forcing all residents and staff to be moved out. Dorian Pavro reports in more detail.
The site of a 64-bed Winchester care home has been earmarked for demolition as part of a multi-million-pounds plan to shift the aging building to a developer. Industrial consultancy company Knight Frank has listed the land which is currently occupied by St Cross Grange for £5,500,000 on Rightmove. The staff and residents at the care home are due to move to a new specialised dementia facilities in Gills Hill. Shona King, the Director of Development at Greensleeves, has said, "We are delighted to have been able to offer residents and colleagues at St Cross Grange the opportunity to move into a new purpose-built home with like-minded provider like Brendan Care." With the closing of this care home and the opening of a new one, Winchester City Council emphasised there are help and schemes available for elderly people in Winchester.
In its council plan, we talk about wanting to provide homes for all, and that obviously includes our more elderly residents, our ageing population. The council itself provides schemes to support those people, so we have shelter schemes, we have something called extra care schemes, which is where we can help people to still live independent lives, but they have extra care staff available to support them.
The new care home is set to open later this year with 60 purpose-built and suite bedrooms. Dorian Poirot, Winchester News Online.
Hampshire and the New Forest are great places to spot all sorts of wildlife. The usual suspects are horses, donkeys and cows, but the closer you get towards the beach, you may even see the odd otter or seal. Local fisherman Darren McKell, however, was greeted by a much bigger surprise down at Cowshot Beach. That surprise was a 600 kilograms walrus. Thor the walrus was spotted around 6 a.m. Sunday morning before Darren McKell set off for a day of fishing.
We found a friend on the beach. Now, that's not our normal friend that we see down at Cowshot, but it's a bloody great walrus.
Darren informed the British Drivers Marine Life Rescue as well as the RNLI Cowshot and Waterside Police so that they could put in the correct measures to keep Thor safe. The last known beach sighting of a walrus in the UK was in March 2021, but Thor has been sighted at a number of locations over the last week, including Dover and Chichester. Experts say that this was an extremely rare sighting for the UK and have revealed that Thor was spotted in the Netherlands earlier this year on the 6th of November. They expect that he's probably making his way around France towards England and is now taking a rest. Thor became quite the celebrity on Sunday morning after being visited by many members of the waterside public. You could only see Thor from a distance, however, as he was cornered off for both his and the public's safety. WWF's Rod Downey said after his rest, Thor would most likely be making his way back towards Arctic waters. Thor's rest lasted for about 6 hours before he made his way back into the water for his swim home for Christmas.
Wow.
And as the Strictly season slowly comes to an end with last night's final elimination, we are one step closer to the final and finding out who will win the Strictly Come Dancing Glitter Ball. Finley Hall explains more.
Sunday night was the 13th instalment of this year's Strictly Come Dancing, and it marked the semi-final of the series. With just 1 week before the final, it is clear none of the dancers wanted to go home, but unfortunately for one couple, their time was up. With Hamza and Jovita, Helen and Gorka, Molly and Carlos all saved due to public votes. This left two couples, Fleur and Vito and Will and Nancy, in the dreaded dance-off. Craig and Motzi both cast their votes save Fleur, whilst Anton cast his on Will, but it was ultimately Shirley's decision to send home Will and Nancy. With just 4 contestants left in the competition and over 60 tens being given out by the judges so far, we're expecting a good final. When looking at the score so far, Hamza and Jovita are leading the competition with a total score of 568. Both them and Helen and Gorka have never been in the dance-off. Both Fleur and Molly, however, are no strangers. With Fleur having 3 appearances and Molly 4, it's safe to say they fought their way to the final. As we look ahead to next week, it is unclear who the favourite to win may be, but we are sure it's going to be intense.
As the semester winds down, students are celebrating the upcoming Christmas holidays. Izzy Higgs went to see how the University of Winchester's Music Centre are bringing us some festive cheer this week.
Here at Winchester, we're counting down to Christmas, and as the end of the semester draws near, students are participating in all kinds of festivities. Christmas carol services are a time-honoured tradition, and this year is the first year since 2019 that the Music Centre have been able to put them on with a congregation. Even last year, COVID levels within ensembles were too high to proceed normally.
The alternative arrangement for last year was us as a choir being more spread out in the chapel and it being live streamed. COVID went up, so we were not allowed an audience.
So this year they're making the most of it, performing outside West Downs last night before they continue with their 2 carol services in the chapel across the next few days. However, you don't have to be religious to enjoy Christmas carols.
I think it's about the spirit of Christmas, because I'm not religious, but I enjoy abstracting the religious aspect from it for myself to just enjoy it for me. Singing with my friends, the people around us, it's a community get-together.
There's no one right way to celebrate Christmas, but this year the Music Centre are grateful to be celebrating it together. Izzy Higgs, Winchester News Online.
A winter wonderland took over Unit 12 in WINOL on Sunday for Move Momentum's Christmas Fair. We sent Grace Benson to find out more.
Last Sunday, families hopeful to get into the festive spirit gathered at Unit 12 in WINOL for Move Momentum's annual Christmas Fair fundraiser.
So we're a dance charity, so we provide accessible dance classes for groups of people who otherwise might not have access to dance. We've got all sorts going on. There's loads of incredible stalls where you can pick up some gifts for Christmas. We've got some performances happening from our groups, also from some other groups' local performances. And we've also got Santa's Grotto, so Santa's tucked away, giving out gifts to children.
Not only does the event help the charity, it also helps to support local businesses.
Especially with everything going on with the post office at the moment, so it's a little bit slower on Etsy at the moment, so it's nice to be able to show our stuff and see people's reactions, because we don't get to do that when we sell online, so yeah, it's amazing.
At regular intervals, the performers took to the stage to show off what they've been working on. To many, the charity helps them with more than just dance.
When one thinks of what happened during the pandemic, it brings everybody together and we can support one another and we share each other's problems and we share each other's joys. That's why it's so important.
Oh yeah, it's been lovely. It's been really nice. We've eaten far too much brownie over at the canteen and seen all the lovely gifts and bought a few presents, so it's been lovely.
In its second year running, Move Momentum's Christmas Fair is proving to be a massive success for small businesses and the community, all complete with the appearance of one very familiar face.
I wish you a Merry Christmas. I wish you a Merry Christmas. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Grace Benson, Winchester News Online.
That's all the news we have time for this week. Thank you for watching and we'll see you again in the new year. Merry Christmas and goodbye.